There is no transition to net zero without nuclear. Nuclear is already the largest source of zero-emission baseload power in the advanced economies. As the world's energy transition has accelerated, much more wind, much more solar, all of that very positive. There are real issues of finding at scale zero-emission baseload, and nuclear is one of the solutions to that.
Nuclear power, as we know it today, is the only commercially viable solution for providing firm, carbon-free baseload generation. Going forward in nuclear is that it's absolutely essential for decarbonization.
And as for the benefits, obviously, of nuclear energy and nuclear electricity, clean, cheap, constant. So this ensures a form of stability which many other fuels don't have. And last but not least, it's baseload.
There's nothing out there that's quite like nuclear. I think the market generally is coming to the understanding that wind and solar and batteries, all fantastic, all going to continue to be a very meaningful part of the decarbonization solution. But if you can't pair that with something like nuclear that is clean, firm, able to run around the clock, then they're not going to be able to meet their expansion goals.
Westinghouse essentially is a mission-critical company that services the nuclear industry, both for existing plants and new plants. We're delivering systems, components, products, services that are very hard to replicate, and that requires a very strong and long relationship with our customers.
Stepping back and looking at Westinghouse as a whole, they're the unquestionable leader in the nuclear space. They have over 2,300 patents across the space. They have 9,000 employees, and 2,500 of those are in highly specialized technical roles. They're also a global company operating in 32 countries.
Westinghouse has two legs, essentially. One which is to service and support our customers to service their existing plants, and the second leg is more new build, new plants, new generation, new reactors.
The AP1000 is Westinghouse's flagship nuclear reactor technology. It's about 1 gigawatt in size in terms of its energy output. It is the most advanced commercial nuclear power plant ever connected to the grid. The SMR technology that Westinghouse is working on is the AP300. It is basically just a miniaturized version of the AP1000. The eVinci microreactor, very different use case and size profile than the AP1000 and AP300.
Think of it as a battery that can operate 24/7, 365 for 8 years minimum, uninterrupted. We are putting in place the continuation of the investments that will enable us to put those innovations into the market.
Westinghouse's business plan under Brookfield Renewable Ownership, really the core focus for us is on the company's nuclear fuel and operating plant services businesses. The operating cash flows of Westinghouse are driven by those two businesses.
Westinghouse has everything we look for in investments. You have technology that is absolutely essential for net zero. You have infrastructure like cash flows that de-risk our downside, but you also have this access to a multi-generational growth opportunity through new plant development. And then finally, it was a business in which Brookfield could bring significant strategic synergies to grow the business. And when we first looked at Westinghouse, it really reminded us of our initial investments in hydroelectric power.
For a technology like hydro, it's an absolutely fantastic technology, but it is constrained by natural resources and where you can actually place hydro. Nuclear is a technology that can really step in because there is no limit on its scalability.
Brookfield brings to Westinghouse is our exposure to our global leading asset management business. And we bring strong customer relationships outside of the nuclear space, like tech companies that provide alternative funding sources or alternate off-takers for their new technologies.
And that's really exciting for an entity like Brookfield that has really strong partnerships with a lot of these hyperscalers. No matter which direction the nuclear energy industry goes, Westinghouse is poised to win.
There are real issues of finding at scale zero-emission baseload, and nuclear is one of the solutions to that. So perceptions have moved. and they're being driven by fundamentals. So I expect that this more positive, constructive environment to nuclear is going to be here throughout the transition.